Hello, everybody. It's Johnny Law here again, and welcome back to my channel. And we're going to be covering, as you guys can see, Eagles and Orbital Strikes. We're going to be rating them based on their fun rating, how fun they are. Not about how good they are, how fun they are. This is going to be completely different about how good and fun they are. And of course, I am here with Crash. Say hello, Crash.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So, do you think there's going to be a good difference between what is actually good and what's fun?
There might be a small difference, but I don't think it's gonna. I think people like good and fun, but I know that there are some things that are fun for me, and it may not be good because I like high risk, high reward situations. So,
Right. Gotcha. And with these most recent updates, it's definitely adjusted my opinions on a few things as well. But we'll go ahead and get started with a big one, the Eagle 500. How do you feel about the Eagle 500?
500 it's a lot of fun. Um, Mostly the what did I just explode factor, because sometimes that bomb is a little closer than I was liking.
Yes,
And so I'm
most
like,
definitely.
whoa. And so I put this one on, like, I mean, it's also the cooldown on it's pretty awesome. So you could use it twice in a row, and so I would say it's pretty S tier fun.
S tier
Two big
fun.
explosions back to back. Yeah.
Okay. I would have to agree with you. I actually don't think it's the most effective. I might get shunned in the comments for that.
It's got a lot of skill to use it
Yeah, like
effectively.
for something with such a big boom, you still need to get it pretty well on target, which is just kind of weird to me. It's a lot of like I guess damage drop off, but when it's used right,
Yeah.
it destroys. But I agree with you. It's still lots of fun. I believe it's S tier as well. I mean, the the sheer size of the explosion, and then when you're also putting into consideration, the angle that you toss the stratagem may work with or against you. I mean, it's no fun tossing something, or it's really funny when you toss something and then it lands right next to you instead of over there where you threw the marker, and then
It
you
bounces
and
off, sticks to your shield, and you're like, oh no, what am I doing?
exactly. So I would agree S tier. Next, the 110 millimeter rocket pods. I'll rate these ones. Um, fun factor. I'll place them as A. Um, they are somewhat effective, but just that initial shock factor for me just gets it. Just you call it, you wait a few seconds, and then do do do, and then hopefully whatever you were hitting is gone. But what do you think?
Um, I think these things are really effective against a lot of not moving targets,
Mm-hmm.
but moving targets or things that fall outside of the range of their tracking or something like that. I find that a lot of times I'm just throwing these things and just putting my hands together and praying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just that they hit the right target, and most of the time they hit, but it doesn't seem like I get more than one or two of the rockets to hit properly. So it's probably going to be a B tier for me for fun, but
Okay.
I take them a lot of the times because they're useful.
Yeah. I think another reason I have it on A is because when other people use them, it's just like it gets my attention every time they hit because I never expect them. It's like I see it, okay, cool, you're calling that, and then I don't know, maybe it just always ends up near me and just nice little shock factor.
Yeah,
Next is the Eagle Cluster. What do you think about the Eagle Cluster?
cluster bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, especially when Johnny's in the way of the fire. Um, no, I think these things belong in A tier for fun. There's a lot of explosions. It's loud. It's oppressive. You know that something that way is getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think they're an A tier on the fun factor, and you get five of them.
Yeah, you get quite a bit.
That's with the upgrade.
Mm-hmm. I think the cluster is S tier. I know that's surprising since I get blown
You
up by
get
them a
blown
lot.
up by it all the
Yeah,
time.
all the time. Especially with randoms.
Yeah.
It's just like they purposely throw them at me. But I mean, when I first saw these in the game, it was like one of the first unlocks I did, and they're so much fun. I mean, like you said, you throw it over there, and then just everything's gone. It's not effective at destroying anything big, but when you get a big group, you no longer have a big group, and just the visual effect of it just annihilating the ground. And then with the specific armor you wear, you can increase the size of it or decrease the size of it, and it's just
Make it a little more tailored to what you actually want to use it for.
exactly. And I just enjoy it so much. I wish it could take out at least chargers, but say Levy,
It's just a bunch of frag grenades.
pretty much. Yep, 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 yep. Next, the good old Eagle airstrike. I again, for those who are watching, this is for fun rating, not how effective it is. I put the Eagle airstrike at C tier. And here's why. Let me explain. I thought about this quite a bit when I was looking at it. Is like, is it really just not that fun for me? And it's like easy mode compared to the 500 and cluster. The 500 takes some skill to put it on the right spot, to drop it at the right time, and get your timing right. The cluster, yeah, it destroys everything in its path except for big stuff. Orbital airstrike, or not orbital, Eagle airstrike. I mean, you throw it over there, and it hits stuff. It hits stuff in a nice line. It doesn't take much skill. It's a kind of like a throw and forget kind of thing. So fun wise, yeah, the explosions are cool. I'm not gonna completely trash it, but I mean, it does its job. What do you think?
Um, I think there's a lot of skill involved with this one, and it makes me think about how I want to use it, which angle I'm throwing it from the sky, and if I'm gonna hit my target with a line, or if I'm just going to toss it out there and hopefully get the kills with it. It does vaporize a lot of my problems, and
Mm-hmm.
so that makes it a little more fun. So it's probably gonna go in an A tier.
Okay. Yeah, two totally different opinions on that one. That's cool. Yeah. Next, I'll have you start this one off. The Eagle Fire, the
Yeah,
the
napalm airstrike.
napalm, yeah, the napalm airstrike.
Um, I think the most fun is when like a full team takes this thing and they all just drop an eagle all at the same time on this thing, and there is so much fire that
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, when did I sign up for like Vietnam here?
Yeah, the Hellmeyer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that although yeah, that plus fire tornadoes. It's I would put this thing at probably an A tier on fun just because it's visually appealing. It's it still does pretty good damage. It may not kill everything instantly, but it's like a good way to just give you some clearance, and I feel like that's fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with you 100%. I think it's A tier. I remember first time fighting automatons and people had an Eagle Fire, and it was like straight out of Terminator. They're just walking through the fire
The glowing
unfazed.
eyes,
Yeah, glowing eyes and everything. It's
skin
just like,
melting off.
yeah, I could just hear the da 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 da, and I'm like, oh no. And it thins the herds when it comes to the bugs, and
Yeah.
it doesn't kill everything, but it's still fun to use. It's very enjoyable. I use it a lot, especially on the bugs. Next up, we have the Eagle Smoke. I'll start this one off. I think I've seen the Eagle Smoke a few times. I know I've seen you use the Eagle Orbital. Um, if it's anything like the Eagle Orbital, I'm gonna give this one a D tier. I'm sure it's useful, but I feel like the smokes need to be bigger Like if you throw an airstrike of smoke, like it should cover the map. Again, I don't. I think I've only really seen it once. Um, and it's very limited on its uses. Like, yeah, you could throw the smoke to uh, cover your fire with the automatons, but they're just gonna walk towards that smoke, and hopefully you're not there anymore. And I mean, once you pop out of the smoke, it's like, oh, there he is. Don't need to shoot at
Yeah.
the smoke anymore. So I mean, I get where they were going with it. It's just I think the outcome wasn't there. What do you think?
I think this one falls into my A tier fun category,
Really? Okay.
and this is why I believe it's an A tier fun.
Okay.
I've noticed with the new changes to blocking volumes and vision loss for
Mm-hmm.
bots and bugs recently that they have made their aggro changes adjusted from the start of the game till now, and they behave differently with smoke as of this last patch. It's not been put in the
Mm.
patch notes, but this is like with the same thing with the ballistic shield, the whole stealth thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smoke now counts as a blocking volume, and it stops them from doing stuff if they're not actively trying to shoot in the first place. So it blocks stuff like uh, bots gunfire. It blocks even Bile Titan vision on the ground. If you're hiding in it, they'll just walk away. They won't try to find you. Uh, you can block stuff like mortar emplacements from firing or noticing you if you're in it, or if the mortar's in it, it'll stop your friends from getting hit across the map because the
Right.
mortar doesn't know where anything is.
Gotcha.
Um, it's super good if you want to throw this on top of a hell bomb when you're at a gunship factory and make sure the gunships don't shoot it.
Ah, that makes sense.
It's I've found more enabling situations because of it, and it makes me have more fun and think, haha, I'm gonna get away with it this time.
You shoot the hell bomb
So that's
now.
why, yeah, that's why it's A tier. I wish
Okay.
it did like a little bigger area, like you said, but if it was bigger area and maybe one more use on the Eagle, it would be S tier.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Next, I'll have you start this one off. It is the Eagle. Can't remember the Eagle strafing run.
This is S tier, fire and
S
forget,
tier. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I.
and it's got its penetration able to hit chargers and hulks and stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, not much more to say, because I agree. Uh, especially with the patch notes, everything they improved recently with the
it's so much better.
it's so much better. It went from something that was quite useless to something that, you could effectively take in,
I used it
especially
for
into
killing trash beforehand, but now I
yeah,
can actually use it to just shoot anything I want. I don't care what's that direction.
yep,
Heavy, not heavy.
yep. And it's quick too. Like it's not that long of a delay. You throw it, like you said, you throw and forget. You throw it, here it comes.
It,
It's
yeah.
it's great. And what's the callback time? It's got a pretty quick callback time, don't it?
Well, so you got 5 uses, and then you've got a 2-minute cooldown after the 5 uses, like normal Eagles have. But
Gotcha.
the call in time is 0, so it's got it as soon as you hit the ground on it. The Eagle's already starting from one end of the map to try to fly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
and then it's got 8 seconds between each use. So,
Definitely. All right. Next up, we have. Let's see. Now we're getting to the orbitals. The first orbital that we have is one of the more excessive ones, the 120 millimeter HE barrage.
120.
Yep, the 120, the smaller one. The
Sweet.
For me, the 120, it's pretty fun. I'm gonna put it A tier. It's got a decent range of hit. You don't really have to worry as much about hurting your teammates, which isn't as fun, but whatever. It's very effective. It takes out targets. It's visually pleasing. I enjoy it, especially on those kill whatever missions. It's there. Blow stuff up. What do you think?
Um, I think it's a B tier just because it's got so much of a long cooldown that I just don't get to use it that much.
Gotcha.
And so it's like, if it was just like a little bit shorter, just so I could throw it more often, I'd probably give it a higher rating. But regardless, it is powerful. It's just not available all the time.
Yep, I feel you. Because sometimes you only feel like you get to use it maybe once on those eradicate missions, unless you throw it super early.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have you start us off with the 380 millimeter, the big one.
This is almost going to be like the same thing, except for I'm going to put it a little bit bigger because it's bigger explosions. So it's probably going to go from that B tier earlier to an A tier.
Gotcha. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mine's just like you, same thing but bigger. Because I mean that's literally what it is. It's just like the 120 but bigger. Let's see. Next, we have the orbital airburst strike. This one, I'm gonna put it on B tier. I think it's very effective when you find those like bug holes. It pops them pretty easily compared to the other uh strikes just like it. The strafing run and the rail cannon. I think it's much less effective. Um, I don't know. What do you think?
This is the airburst.
Yes.
Mm, yeah, I like that it closes bug holes. It's got a low cooldown now, so
Mm-hmm.
I get to use all that a whole lot. Um, I like that it has the options to just use it for a lot of different stuff. It doesn't do a lot of damage to the heavier targets, but I don't need it to like vaporize the heavy targets, but it does like remove stuff. It has the whole triple call down slap, which has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was probably gonna go like an A tier fun.
A tier. It would push it to A tier for me. I mean, it would make it more effective and more useful. It's that airburst effect, and it just pops things down. It'd be nice if it had like a stagger. So like if it hits something, it staggers it because it's so forceful. I think that'd be something they should look into myself. Let's see. You want to start us off next on the orbital EMS strike?
EMS.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We had lots of fun with this one not too long ago.
Yeah, this has been fun. It gives us a lot of breathing room, really fast cooldown. I mean, it's like 75 seconds, so you
Mm-hmm.
could just keep using it over and over. I'd probably put an A tier on this one.
A tier. Yeah. And I would agree with you. I mean, having that incident where you threw that down and there was like a bunch of stuff sitting there, and I was able to throw a napalm strike on it, and I just got some major kills because they weren't going anywhere. Yeah, that was lots of fun. That was definitely lots of fun. Next is, which I'm waiting for them to come with an eagle one, the orbital gas strike. I
Can you imagine the Eagle gas
Yeah, I
strike?
know, right? It'd be massive. I'll put this one, hmm, only because I don't think too highly of it. It is effective. I'm gonna put it at B tier. Um, I don't know. Maybe I just want it to be more visually nice because I mean, with a lot of the smokiness on a lot of the maps, you barely even see the green. Um, I don't know. Just, you hit it and like sometimes it seems like nothing happens. I mean, there's gas there, especially when you walk into it accidentally. What do you think?
I like this thing to be the missile on this thing has actually been pretty powerful, so it's been able to enable me for a few situations. The throwing off a corridor has been really nice. Um, and I would say this thing belongs in my S tier category for fun
Okay.
and uh, just being able to throw it and just feel like I'm melting away all of the bugs and the bots. It's
Mhm.
it's pretty. It feels pretty useful. It's I like the sound it makes. I like the gas cloud. I wish the gas cloud was a little thicker. In the way it was like portrayed, or just to tell where it was. But it's still pretty cool when it hits, and you can tell where gas is on a clear day, at
Oh
least.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe instead of just hitting and like exploding, it'd be cool if it like hit and then like missed out, just psst, and you just watch it like engulf an area. I don't know. Just something more visually pleasing would have probably bumped it to A tier for me, but I don't know. Next, we have the Orbital Gatling Barrage. Now, I'll put this one at A tier, mainly because it's kind of situational. Uh, it sucks when you throw one down and then everything just kind of walks around it, which doesn't happen too often, but it can happen. Like you throw it down and then the dude's like, you know what? I'd rather kill your friend instead, and walks that way. Um, but it's still fun. It's still very useful. It's still enjoyable to watch that that rail cannon just bounce around in like a circle and just eat everything up. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, A tier would be the proper way to put it, just because sometimes it misses what you're trying to shoot at it. It sometimes doesn't like actually hit the right target, even though they did double the projectiles
Mm-hmm.
on it, and that is a lot better, and the fire rate's better, which means it's gonna hit better stuff. I believe it could use a bit better coating on it rather than just spraying in a walking what are those called, styrographs almost,
Mm-hmm.
where you have put your pencil in and you just rotate around in a circle and it makes a pattern. It feels like it's following a styrograph.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It'd be nice if it was similar to like the orbital laser, at least in like a limited
yeah,
capacity
just
where it kind of,
follow something.
yeah, it kind of targets something and
Yeah,
moves
that
towards
would
it.
that would be S tier at
Yeah, it
that point.
most definitely. I mean, I don't get why you can't have that. I mean, we have, the all kinds of abilities to do that on our own, our modern equipment to have things like a rail cannon follow something and shoot it. And it's just strange that it doesn't. Maybe it was on purpose to kind of balance it, which makes sense because it would be tons of fun and S tier and probably more effective than the laser.
Yeah, way more effective.
hmm Speaking of orbital laser, I'll have you start us off with the orbital laser.
It's only got 3 uses.
Yeah, yeah,
Going to
yeah.
B tier.
hmm Yeah,
Um, it's not complete garbage though. It's fun. It's really good to see it go down in like laser stuff. But I don't see it being super effective for me. It destroys bots on all sorts of levels, but I don't take it because I would run out of my uses.
yeah. I agree with you. It's all about those uses, and I know it's for balancing, but like, you know, anytime I bring it, I really think about when I need to use it. I try to use it in the most extreme manners, like we're pinned down, everyone's dying a lot. Let me throw this real quick to give us some breathing room, kind of thing. Or
They
it's
could
the
even like buff it by get removing the use count and just taking the duration down.
yeah, yeah. Or it's like the end of the match, and it's like, okay, I don't need these anymore. Let me go ahead and toss them. Um, it is super fun watching it bounce around the map, just eating everything up, and then traveling straight towards you because the enemy's behind you, and you have to freak out and jump out of the way. But other than that, I agree. B tier. A few more uses would make it nice. Even if it was just 5 uses, I mean that'd be a little bit better. I feel like you could
Five
easily.
uses, 5 minute cooldown
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
instead of 10.
Yep. Now, the original, the classic, the
I mean, it does have 5 minute cooldown now. I just better maybe 2, 3 minute cooldown.
yeah,
Yeah.
the original, the orbital precision strike. Let's see. I would put this one at A tier. It's it's exactly what you expect from it. It's you throw it, comes down, it blows up. I mean, you can take out almost anything with it, especially at the right angle, the right timing. Take some skill. You can plug bug holes. It's got a decent cooldown. It's just overall good. I mean, it's just a great thing. What do you think?
This is gonna be there, but same with the reasons the 500 goes to be the S tier. It just blows up whatever's right there. I don't have to worry about it. S tier. It's
Which
gonna
is
be real
just
good.
it's just so strange to me. You can do basically the same thing with the 500, but the 500's explosion is so much bigger. It's like
The
what?
500 explosion is wonky and weirdly shaped, where this one's a
Oh
even
yeah.
cut or even like distribution, and its damage fall off is better. I mean, it's not the biggest of area compared to the 500, but
It.
it levels stuff with
Mm-hmm.
just as much damage.
Yep. Yeah. Which is that it just boggles my mind. It's like I feel like the airstrike should have a little less damage, or the 500's damage should be wider. But what can you do? Next, we have the orbital rail cannon. I'll have you start this one.
Its cooldown's a little long, but it does have those clutch factors of, oh no, we need to save the day right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably put this thing in an A tier just because it's like, oh no, we need to save the day moment. The charger's hitting you and or charging right at you, and you throw it. It slaps the charger, and it just does this like forward flip over the top of your head and lands on the other side. It's
Yeah.
totally cinematic, and does. I mean, they even did their video thing in game and showed it hitting the charger and flipping over. So they did really good on capturing that footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll agree with you. Pretty much the same reasons. It's a clutch tool. It's we're in a very bad situation and we need something to deal with this. I mean, that's what I was doing on one of our last matches. I was like, I'm gonna bring the orbital rail just in case I'm by myself and I need it, and I always needed it. And making chargers, do
I ran out
cartwheels.
of spear shots to cover you.
Yeah, yeah, not enough spear shots. You run out of ammo. I'm reloading real quick. It's like I got it. Uh, I mean, visually it's cool too, seeing that laser come down and just pew, just murk something. Uh, I wouldn't put it at S tier though, but yeah, definitely A tier. See, next, I'll go ahead and start with this one because this one's gonna be pretty easy for me for the same reasons. It's gonna be the orbital smoke strike. Um, it's just too small. Uh, Visually, it's not like super thick either. Like, I think one thing that would bump it up more for me is like you can still kind of see through the smoke if the smoke literally impaired your own vision too. Like you can't see nothing. I mean, I remember you throwing that. It might have been a smoke bomb, like the grenade. Maybe that's why it didn't seem like much. But it's like, is it right there? Are you sure? But what do you think about it?
Um, I think it's a little smaller than the Eagle one. I think it's a little bit easier to use sometimes
Oh
because
yeah,
you don't have to
definitely.
wait for the whole Eagles. It's still 100 cooldown, and I think that's the perk for it is that it's available and easy to use all the time. I'm not going to put this in an S tier because it is a bit smaller and it can sometimes not come down as fast as the eagle in the way it's spread, and so sometimes you're still like not quite sure where you're going to get the coverage. So it's probably going to be an A tier. I still feel like it's pretty useful, but it's not going to be S tier like the other
Hmm.
uh, eagle smoke.
Okay, cool, cool. And lastly, I'll have you start with this one, the orbital walking barrage.
Walking barrage,
Mm-hmm.
S tier fun. Regardless of its cooldown, it is going that way, far away, and destroying stuff. And uh, I this is my high risk, high reward situation that I like. I
Mm-hmm.
like to see that does stuff. I know that there's the pattern with the left, right, left,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, knowing that it's like, okay, how skilled can I get to actually hit stuff with this one? And I feel like I've gotten really good at it, and that's made it more fun to use.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to go into an A tier.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in S tier because like same things. I don't use it much, but it's so much fun to use. Especially if you get something the right armor where you can, that 30% huck range, and you just throw it out there, and then it just reaches out and touches things. And the explosions are massive. They almost look bigger than the 380. They're probably the same, but I don't know. It's just very enjoyable to use. But that is everything. There seems to be a decent pattern with mine. Looks like you just like to use everything.
The whole
Um,
thing's a lot of fun. I love this game.
yeah, it really
Um,
is. Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that's in the garbage category for me.
yeah. You seem to find uses for everything, regardless.
I don't think I went below B.
Nope. B and up for you. You only had 3 of them in B too. You almost ran out of space in A.
Oh no.
Like I mostly had.
I'm going to start taking up some of your chart.
Yeah, almost. Uh, Mostly A, some an S. I had 3 below B, but I mean, I could be, unjustly rating the orbital airstrike, but just for me, it's
Not fun for you.
yeah, it's just not that fun. I just throw it. I know what's gonna happen. It does its job. I walk away. Uh, so super useful, super effective, but just if I want fun, instead of bringing that, I'm gonna bring the Eagle Fire. I'm gonna bring the 380s. I'm gonna bring, anything else. A 500 if I just want to have, more fun. But if I want to be effective, I'll bring an Eagle Airstrike. Do you have any final thoughts for the peoples?
I mean, like if you want to have fun with the game, it's a sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you bring in something that you want to have fun with, regardless of if it's a super effective tactic. If your fun comes from wiping out the mission really fast, then bring really effective tactics to wipe out the mission really fast, and that's your
Yep.
fun.
Yep. Yep.
But if you have another goal, like, oh, I want to take out these objectives in a specific way, like I want to just throw smoke on an objective and blow it up with a bomb, or
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't want to deal with this objective really fast, and I just want to like drop a bomb on it. It's like those eyeballs from the bot that are really frustrating, and you're like, oh well, this is more fun if I don't deal with this. Then bring in precision strike and throw it on the top of it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Make your own fun, do a bunch of stuff that makes things fun, and from there you'll find the stratagems that actually make it worth your while to keep playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the only way you'll know if they're fun is if you try them out. Don't bother chasing the meta. Figure out what you like, what's more fun. Playing with what's more fun makes the game more fun too. And I mean, like like Crash said, we all have our different styles. You can just look at our rating scale and see, we have some stuff that's similar, but most of it's quite different. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna another way to make the game fun, because I know there's random people out there that is like, well, you didn't bring this airstrike, so I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna leave a link at the bottom to a Discord for other fellow Helldivers that like to have fun, because that's all we like to do is have fun.
Bring whatever you want.
Bring whatever you want. If you want to bring 2 smokes and a shield and I don't know, an orbital rail, do it. I'm sure you'll do something really cool that I won't even think about. But that's all we have for today. We'll do the other stuff, the weapons and turrets and all that, on another video. Till then, say bye, Crash.
Bye, Crash. Oh, wait. Bye.